Hi everyone, been asked to do a little video on jointing compounds and the best ones. Now there's lots of stuff out there, but I'd just like to show you the ones that I've used for the last 45 years and have been successful. There is lots of probably more modern stuff now. I haven't really looked at it, I just stay with the same ones because I know they work. Okay, first of all we have the all concrete Boss White. Well, this one is actually called the Fernox jointing compound, and if you want to use this on, I think copper pipe jointing on a compression fitting is a must, this stuff. Okay, it's quite simple. Just put your nut and olive on, smile your Boss White round there like so, cover it round the joint, put your olive on and do it up. Same for this side, put your Boss White round there, okay, put it in and do it up. Don't try and do these up dry with nothing on them. They're probably going to leak. They may not leak straight away, but they probably will leak later on. You might find a little bubble of water occurring out the top of the fitting there as it starts to get by with no Boss White and seal. Sometimes you're lucky and it does hold, but guarantee you if you use this stuff you won't get a leak. It's cracking stuff. Okay, a lot of other plumbers use PTFE tape to join these. They put the olive on there like so, they get the PTFE tape and they wrap it round the joint like so, to do it like that. Now that's okay, not my preferred option, but it will hold, you know, it will do the job. It's on there again, put it in and you'll find that does hold quite well. So for me, I prefer the Boss White, but that is the option. It's the modern day stuff. I still don't like it, but there you are. Also for threaded joints, this is the stuff you use now. So if it was a thread and that was a Malline fitting, you can wipe the PTFE around that. Again, I don't think it's as successful as the Boss White, this stuff, Fernox jointing compound, simply because I prefer something else. I'm using pipe threads for copper pipe. And that's this stuff. You can still buy it. It's called hemp. It looks a bit strange, but it's really good stuff. You just pull it, manage to pull a thread off. Now if you're doing any threaded joints, especially this is mainly what it's about really, for threaded joints, but you can also wrap it around a copper joint. If you had a joint leaking like so and that compression olive was pulled right up tight and you had a leak, you can actually get some of this hemp and wind it round the front of the fitting like so. Pull it off and put it in, so like, snap it off like so, put your Boss White around it like so, put that round it as well. I won't put too much on because I'm only showing you. Put it on and do it up, and I guarantee you that would take that leak up. It usually always works. It's a #1 for me, and that's called hemp. It's the stuff I prefer. It's really good stuff, and it's recommended. If you're using a threaded joint, if that was a thread, I would wind that around the thread like so. See that? Wind it round into the thread. Well, I'm not even showing you, but wind it into the thread, then put the Boss White around it, and I guarantee you when you thread that in, it won't leak. Okay, I don't want to ruin these good fittings. I haven't fitted them yet by putting in Boss White on them. So there you are. That's my prime for compression fittings and joint into copper pipe. Obviously if you're using solder fittings, different routine. I've just grabbed an old solder fitting out of the box. It's a bit old daddy, but just to show you again with this, you do need something like this. This is one I use, Everflux. I don't know if it's still about there, but there's lots of take on to this one. Don't dip your finger in it and put it on, it will burn your finger. If you've got any little cuts and nicks, it makes a hell of a pain. So put it on with something else. I usually use a bit of solder. I dip it in the tin like so, as if it was a solder, and I'll wipe it around the joint like that, and then just push your fitting in. Now if you've got fairly new pipe and new fitting, you won't have any problem about having to clean it, because this stuff cleans the pipe as you go. So as you feed the solder in, it will automatically clean it. If it's old pipe you're going on to, you will need to clean it first. That's a must, especially if you had an old fitting like that. That would need cleaning inside, because this is a really old fitting. It's the same if you're using Yorkshires. They may have a solder ring on them, but again, you still need this stuff for it to take or similar to this stuff. I mean, I don't know what's out there now, but it's got to be flux that cleans as it goes. And once you put it on, you can tap it in and heat it up, and you'll see the solder emerge from, you know, when you've got it, because it emerges on the outside of the pipe. You'll see it emerge there, and you know you've got it. Okay, so that's my preferred option for if you were to solder your fittings. Okay, so that takes care of the various ways with copper tubing, and obviously the Boss White, which is my favourite. But that leads us now to I'll put the my other jointing things that I've used over the years that I do like and don't like, and that's this stuff. A lot of people ask me about Plumber's Mate. Now, this stuff is an old favourite. People tend to think you can use this on virtually anything. Well, you can, but it won't always work if you do. This stuff is non-setting, okay, and it's putty for sanitary joints. So do bear that in mind. It's sanitary joints. We're talking about toilet, you know, pipes and waste pipes, and usually for fittings that go through like a wash basin, you may have a slotted waste, and you know the bottom of the basin might not be perfect. So they often give you washers that always leak with those things, but if you use Plumber's Mate instead on the fitting and push it into your basin and bolt it up underneath and use a bit more even underneath again, and this would hold. So what we're talking about here is using this for sanitary wear only. Okay, don't use it on anything else. It's a waste of time unless you're squeezing something up to a really uneven surface, and it mustn't be pressurized at all. You know, this is the stuff you'd use, but you don't use it on copper or anything like that. Okay, strictly sanitary wear, and if you do, usually very, very successful, works most of the time. Okay, that leads me to my very last thing that I've used, and that's this stuff here. It's called Sealglass. There we are, and it's a waterproof tape. Now this is a real get out of jail item. This is now this stuff is last hotel stop. This is this stuff sticks like to a blanket, honestly. Now this stuff you need gloves, and you've got to unroll it and wrap it round. Now what I use it for is for emergency leaks, mainly on soil pipes. If you get a soil stack leak and it's on one of the joints, you can wind this Sealglass round, and it will hold for quite some time. In fact, I've actually gone to joints where it's had this stuff on for about 5 years and it's only just started leaking through. So it is very, very good, but it has got its uses. It's got its uses. I don't think it'd hold mains. Not very good for that. It wouldn't hold it back. But if you want to seal a soil pipe leak or a waste pipe leak, that you can get this stuff right round. Do make sure when you do it that the pipe is clean right away. Make sure there's nothing on it, it's perfectly clean, all the watermarks are gone, and make sure that it is also dry, okay, before you put this stuff on. Wind it round, use gloves, you will need them, and pretty much it's a really good stopgap filler. So they're my 4 main jointing compounds that I've used over the years. I've found successful.
That's the way, there's nothing else.